feels so good, man. When you get to that place and you sweat and everything, and you feel the thing, it's like, it's like amazing. Feels great. So, one thing that the fitness community never talks about, that I think is just, I'm starting to really feel now, is this experience of everybody talks about how strong you get, or how flexible you are, or how fast you're running, or how much weight you're moving, or how good you look. These are the things I find most people are talking about, but nobody's saying how good it feels to be in really good shape, other than like a few people. But in general, in the workout people and community, this doesn't seem to be a very big topic. Maybe because we are looking at the approach of it from the perspective of we want to lose weight or look good. It's about appearance, or about like health, like minimum, like not health as in like being healthy, but that health as in like not being sick. You know, that we're just like, oh, what's the minimum dose I could do to not literally die from sitting and have back pain forever. But this working out thing, that the way we used to feel when we're little kids, you know, in our body, it feels nicer. It feels like there's more sensation in my body, and just you could move easier. You know, you could jump and tumble and run around, and it feels good. Like when I get into running now, before I used to work out to look better, and that would always hurt because the focus was just pushing and pushing and pushing, and it wasn't on like what would feel better and what direction would my body want to grow into in order for me to have a better experience being inside of it, which is where I am now. I'm doing all kinds of exercises from my eyes and my scalp to my ears and my jaw, and I do stuff with my shoulders and my chest and my back and my ab cores and like hips and groin, and like working splits and stretching and pulling it back like with power, and all the way the joints, the knees and the calves and the muscles, and the way the feet hit everything, my toes. And man, like once you actually learn how to do it, I think there's a reason why people like to play sports. It's kind of getting lost on us, especially people my age, or maybe just me. I never really liked sports very much because I wasn't that good at it. So it never felt like I'm doing this amazing thing when I would play something. I always felt weird. And I would always get injured when I work out too much as well. Now when I'm focusing on doing it properly for the way I feel and not just looking better, man, like you start running and like you just breathe, like that 30 minutes into running, when you start sweating and all the sweat comes out and the blood starts to pump and your heart is going and everything is like going in unison, and your lungs are starting to like really like, and you're like looking around, you feel your head, you feel your whole body. It feels good. It feels like what sex feels, you know, like it feels good itself. Like you're going and you're like, you take every step and your whole, like you feel this rhythm, like one step and the other one, and your hip rolling off of itself. It's like a dance. It's like a, you know how people, we like dancing sometimes, right? But even dancing feels kind of tight. But once we start to actually do this, learn how to move our body and do the right kind of exercises, it feels like oh my God, I feel so good when I do it now. Just the way that my breath enters my body and my ability to stand and sit and sleep better. And like I feel good in my body. It's about the feeling. Like I feel good. It's euphoric. Good exercise feels euphoric. It feels good. It's not just relaxing or healthier or less like combat stress with it or get the tension out of your day. It's not just like you go from negative to baseline. No. It's like from baseline to up here. It's like a great it's like playing a really good video game or eating an incredible meal or just anything really pleasurable. Like moving is pleasurable. And I feel like that maybe makes sense for a lot of people, but for me, I never really connected with that until much more now than ever before. And it's all about like doing it very slowly. You see how a child learns to move. First they can't walk, and then they start running, and then they start tumbling, but they're doing it easily. There's no like, when a child is learning to walk, you don't tell him to keep walking, go to failure, like you can try more, and he falls, and it's like just keep pushing until he just literally cannot stand, which is what you see people trying to do in the gym when they're not even trying to like, compete internationally, like try to break some records or anything. They're literally just like, they think, or we think that there's something in that's rewarding because your bicep looks big or something. But we're missing the biggest reward in this whole thing. Dude, it feels so good to be in shape. I cannot believe how good I feel just really getting good at running or moving. For me, I'm not I don't know how to swim yet, so I haven't gotten into that, but whatever kind of movement you like, first it has to develop a kind of power to be able to do it. But it feels so good, man. Like I feel like I'm flying when I run. Like when my body is really there and I'm in flow and I feel my heart and my lungs and my sweat and my body and like my hip rolling forward, touching the ground with my feet, and then like pushing, leaping up off of my glutes and hamstrings into the air and like touch the ground. It's like, oh my God, it's like, oof, like it's like a dance. It feels good, man. It feels moving well, feels so good. I wish more people just talked about how fucking good it feels to exercise, because we get all these studies that talk about that. There's so many studies that show you, when people are depressed or they feel horrible, they just literally put them on a treadmill for 30 minutes, like a few times a week, and they check back with them 4 weeks later or 8 weeks later. And it does more than the pills, man. It does more than medicine. It does more than drugs. Do you understand? Sitting on a treadmill for 30 minutes, not even trying, feels better than drugs. Like, what part of that are we not like seeing? Like, I'm starting to feel that. It actually feels like drugs. It feels like euphoria. You're like, runner's high is not just like runner's high. That's what we're supposed to be feeling all the time. You just look at children who are people who are in great shape. They feel fucking amazing. You look at someone with their shoulders slumped and they look unhealthy and tight and they could barely stand up and everything. And it's like, or when you feel that way, when you're tired and you have no energy and you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like you can walk much or run much or do anything, does that feel good? Or do you feel better when you wake up in the morning and you feel like, I can jump from here to the next block while not even like trying, like just so much energy. Body feels great, legs feel in shape. Everything is like in beating properly. That's when we feel good. It's a physical thing. Like feelings is right here. It's not just here. We think it's like, oh, here we have to sit and think and like go to therapy and talk about something. which is important, and we have to do that. But I think we're really culturally missing just how good it feels to be in shape and to move properly and to be free in your body, to not to feel blocked in your shoulders or your jaw or neck and hips. It just feels like free, like you can, like, you know, you just do this and you just fly, like, because you're so light. That feels so good. It feels so good. I think we should talk about that more. People who work out should be talking more about just how incredible it feels when you go exercise. Not just like, dude, I just worked out really hard. Look at all the sweat on the floor and how cracked my hands are. Like, cool, I get it, and your ass looks big or whatever you're doing. But like, or you just post some stats like, oh, I ran 10K. But like, dude, it feels so good. It's like I don't know, like why people think posting pictures of them sitting on a boat or like on a beach or drinking some cute thing. We think that feels more, there's more pleasure there than someone having a good run or like a swim or something. Bro, it feels so much better. It feels so good. There's not a single beer I've had or any drink I've had that feels like when I'm really, really running. And that's something that I wish more people talked about.